Hi, this is Dr. Thomas, math instructor at Lawson State Community College, and in this presentation I will show you how to work with synthetic division. In order to use synthetic division, these two things must happen. The divisor must have 1 as the leading coefficient, and your divisor must be of degree 1. There must be a coefficient for every possible power of the variable. So if you're missing a term, you need to put the placeholder 0 in its place. Now if we're looking at 5x to the 4th minus 4x squared plus x plus 6 divided by x minus 3. Notice here that the divisor x minus 3 is of degree 1. Meaning the highest exponent is x to the first power. And the coefficient of x is 1 as well. This is the dividend, 5x to the 4th minus 4x squared plus x plus 6. Notice that we're missing the x cubed term. So step 1, you need to write the terms of the polynomial so the degrees are in descending order. Descending order means from the highest to the lowest degree. So this is x to the 4th, x to the 3rd, x to the 2nd, x to the 1st, and this is actually x to the 0. X to the 0 is equal to 1, so 6 times 1 is 6. Since the numerator does not contain all the powers of x, you must include a 0 for the x cubed term. Step 2, you need to write the constant k of the divisor, x minus k to the left, and write down the coefficients. What I need to point out here is that k can be negative or positive. In this situation, k, even though you see a minus k, k is positive. Now if k was negative, this would be x plus k. To determine what goes in this box here, you basically need to look at what's the opposite of what you see here. So you see minus 3, but you would put a positive 3 here. We're going to put the coefficients of the dividend in this row. So 5, 0, negative 4, 1, 6, and that comes from all of the coefficients. Step number 3, bring down the first coefficient 5. So you always bring down the first number first. Then you're going to multiply the 5 times the 3. It's 15, so you put it under the next number. Then we add the column. Then we multiply, start back over. 3 times 15 is 45. Then we add the column. Negative 4 plus 45 is 41. Then we start over. We multiply 41 times 3 is 123. Then we add the columns. 1 plus 123 is 124. Then we multiply. We get 372, and then we add, we get 378. This is how you write the answer, and they refer to the answer as the quotient. The numbers along the bottom are coefficients of the power of x in descending order, starting with the power that is 1 less than that of the dividend. So the quotient is 5x cubed plus 15x squared plus 41x plus 124 plus, and let me point out this plus here. There's a plus sign here before you write the remainder over the divisor. So the remainder was 378. So let's get started with some more examples. We're going to divide 2x squared minus x minus 4 by x minus 1. Now the reason that we can use synthetic division here is because we have the form x minus k. The form x minus k. So notice here that k is the 1 because we already have the minus sign here. So k is 1 and x is x. So k is what you'll put in the box. So the opposite of what you see is basically the easiest way to look at this. You see -1, but you're going to put a positive 1 here. Okay, what goes in this row here? The coefficients of your dividend. The coefficients of your dividend. And you also have to make sure that every term is represented here. So you have the x squared term, and it should go in descending order, x to the first, and you have your number. So we should write 2. What's the next coefficient? -1, and then -4. Draw a line. Always bring down the first number. Always bring down the first number. 2. Then we're going to start multiplying the number below the line times the number in the box. So 2 times 1 is 2. We put it under the next number. Then we're going to add the columns. Okay, so add -1 plus 2 is +1. And then we're going to multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. And then we're going to add again. We get -3. So the very last number is our remainder. So this is how you write your answer. You started with x squared and you're dividing by x. So obviously your answer will start with x to the first power because you're dividing x squared by x. When you're dividing x squared by x, you get x, right? So your quotient or your answer will start with the x to the first power term. So these numbers here represent your coefficients of your answer. Okay? So you will have x, and then we're going in descending order. So what goes after the x term? The number. So since it's +1, we're going to put plus here. Maybe I should highlight this. So we're adding this x and this plus. And we also need to add another plus before we reach the remainder. -3 divided by the divisor, which is x minus 1, if you recall here. Okay, let's do another one. Let's divide y cubed plus 27 by y plus 3. So normally what we would have done was we would have factored y cubed plus 27 because that's the sum of cubes formula. But I want to use synthetic division on this problem because you can use synthetic division since this degree is degree 1, y to the first power. This is y to the first power, and the coefficient is 1. So whenever you have a coefficient of 1, degree is 1, in your divisor, then you can use synthetic division. I want you to notice that you are missing some terms in the dividend. Which terms are you missing? So if I had to rewrite this back over using placeholders, I would write y cubed plus 0y squared. We're also missing a y term. So these are the same thing, same expression. Because I put placeholders there, it really means 0 times y squared, which is 0. So I'm putting fake terms there. Okay. So in synthetic division, I'm going to put my little box here. And my box goes what k is. K is opposite of what you see here. So we see a plus 3 there, but it's actually going to be a minus 3 inside the box. The nice thing about synthetic division is that you're only dealing with numbers. You're not dealing with the variables. So what we need now are the coefficients of your dividend. So y cubed, what is the coefficient that's considered to be in front of y cubed? If you see nothing there, it's considered to be a 1. So 1, 0, 0, 27. Little space and put your line. Always bring down your first number, and then we will do the multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add till we finish. So let's multiply. Multiply 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. We're going to add the column and get negative 3. We're going to multiply what's below the line times the box, number in the box. It's positive 9. We're going to add 0 plus 9, gives us a 9. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. And lo and behold, we have a 0 remainder, which tells me y cubed plus 27 could have been factored and it was divisible by y plus 3. So what is our quotient? Our quotient, since we started with y cubed and we're dividing by y cubed divided by y will be y squared. So we always start with the term that is 1 less than the degree in the dividend. So we started with y cubed, we're dividing by y, so we have 1y squared minus 3y. Since this is positive 9, I'm going to put a plus 9. So the answer is y squared minus 3y plus 9. And since we have a 0 remainder, we need not write the remainder over the divisor. This is the answer, y squared minus 3y plus 9. Let's do one more. We have 3x to the 4 minus 7x cubed plus 6x squared minus 3x minus 10 divided by x minus 2. So notice here, this is a very long dividend, and so it is an advantage to use synthetic division if you can use synthetic division. So you can only use synthetic division when you have coefficient of 1 and the degree is 1. So for example, I could not use synthetic division if I was dividing by x squared minus 2. So if I was dividing by x squared minus 2, I could not use synthetic division, and the only other way you could do it would be to use long division. Okay, so let's start using synthetic division. First, make sure you have all of your terms. We have x to the 4, x to the 3rd, x to the 2nd, x to the 1st. This is x to the 0 really, because x to the 0 is 1. So we have all of our terms here. What should we put in the box? you should put opposite of what you see here. So we're going to put positive 2 there. And the coefficients are next. 3, -7, 6, -3, -10. Please do not forget the negative signs. What's the very first step? Always bring down the very first number, 3. Then we're going to do that multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add mantra until we're finished. So we have 3 times 2 is 6. We're going to add -7 plus 6, -1, multiply, -2, add 4, multiply 8, add 5, multiply 10, add 0. So we have a remainder of 0. So how would you write the answer? Starting with x to the 4th. Always go 1 less than your degree here. So we will start with x cubed minus, since this is a negative, minus x squared plus 4x plus 5. So those I'm going in descending order. This is x cubed, x squared, x to the 1, and the constant. So the answer is 3x cubed minus x squared plus 4x plus 5.